Hello, my little toast points. I'm Noey, and this is the Moods with Noey podcast. And this is a podcast journal for me to talk about what I find magic and mystifying and memeable about the music I listen to. So let's get started. This episode is about Sleigh Bells' Bunky Becky Birthday Boy. Bunky Becky Birthday Boy came out just a couple months ago in April of this year. April 4th, 2025, to be exact. So Sleigh Bells has been a group since 2008, and Sleigh Bells is comprised of Alexis Krauss on vocals and Derek E. Miller, the guitarist slash producer. And they're known for what some call these days hyperpop, or shall we just say pop, punk, pop, metal. I was not aware of their existence until recently. I was on the treadmill at Planet Fitness, and I remember in the month of April seeing this specific album cover. I didn't actually know it was an album cover. I just knew that there were music videos on that one screen. Anyone who goes to Planet Fitness knows exactly what I'm talking about. And I finally was able to read what was on the screen because it said April 4th. I remember seeing April 4th. And when I read Bunky Becky Birthday Boy, I thought that was so funny that I had to play it with my husband on the way home. And I found that I did not hate it. I thought it was really funny and silly and energizing, and I wanted to know what the deal was. And I'll say that after this, I'm really looking forward to checking out other albums by them. So, Bunky Becky, I can't keep saying Bunky Becky Birthday Boy. I certainly can't. But I'm going to say Bunky Becky, which is even harder. So I see hyperpop as a genre kind of thrown around a lot when I read about Sleigh Bells online. But I guess it's a micro genre that's just a little more recent, but that maybe Sleigh Bells were the progenitors of hyperpop as we know it. You know me in genres. I'm interested, I'm fascinated by them, and it's really hard for me to pin down a genre. So, their style, Sleigh Bells, is really hyperactive. It's like a swirl of other genres, and it has a real sort of neon energy. Their first album came out in 2010. The duo met each other in New York City because Derek had actually moved to New York specifically to find a female vocalist for a music group. He was working at a Brazilian bistro. Alexis and her mom went to the bistro as customers, and her mom volunteered her as the female vocalist he had been looking for. And that's how this all began. That's how Sleigh Bells began. Now, the name of the album title, which sure, might make you laugh. You might think it's silly, and it is, but there's another little story attached to this. Bunky Becky was the nickname for Alexis's dog, Riz, who passed in December 2023, and then her son was born. So Bunky Becky, the dog, the birthday boy, was her son, and so combine them and you get Bunky Becky Birthday Boy, which is a really cute name. And I love the combination and the juxtaposition of life and death. You know, maybe there's loss, but there can also be life, losing and gaining somebody we love. And as I understand, the album is a fictionalized bit of autobiography. So Bunky Becky is like character, maybe the main character in the album, and she is joined by other characters, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Okay, let's look at the personnel. So on vocals, bass, guitar, synthesizer, drum programming, words by Derek Miller. Vocals, Alexis Krauss. Drums, Christopher Hornbrook on certain tracks. And then also on other tracks, which vary. And then on various tracks, we have backing vocals by Charlene Kay, Felicia Douglas, Hannah Winkler, Inez Nassara, and Kate Steinberg. I'm really excited to talk about this one. The first track. Let's get into it, shall we? The first track is Bunky Pop, Arguably one of the hypest opening tracks of any albums I've listened to this year. I think it's I think I think it's really heartwarming. The line "Here without you" always kills me. I love "Can't sit still, can't go in reverse. Here comes the fear, here comes the chorus." The line "the best girl in the world." Also, when you know it was dedicated to a dog. I think this song is silly, but it's a blast. It's like the coolest 2000s kids toy commercial ever. Alexis's voice is just so clear and bright, and I'll use the word genuine. And then you hear these like brutal drums and this like whining electric guitar. It's just candy. It's like pure sugar for your brain. I think it's silly, but it's also heavy and very heartfelt, and that's kind of my shit. Also, I'm mentioning candy, but the cover and all of the album artwork appear to be collages. Oh, I think they set such a fun story. There's like lipstick and gummy bears covered in sugar. I can't think of a better way to represent that. So I'm gonna give Bunky Pop a magic. It's a great first track. Next is "Wanna Start a Band." So this like kicks off the album's story. I'm putting story in quotes. We don't need to stick too much to that, I'm sure. So at first glance, you think, oh, that's one of those Home Depot songs. And then the snaps and the wild keyboards come in. I love the attitude of the character. She's so confident and also confrontational, and she's here to get her way and she's here to be heard. She says, "Shut up and let me finish." Women, take note. Men, take note. I think this is a song. Listen, if you're a headbanger, you're gonna headbang until your neck falls apart with this track. I like the reference to 96 that like starting a band has been a dream for her since then. I think this might be my favorite track. It's hard to say, I guess. But we've got a fun mixing of genres here. We've got some 90s hip hop. We've got these, keyboards. The description of starting a band as being personal, not business, is so great because, making music with someone else is so personal. So that is a fascinating perspective for those of us who don't make music as their job. It's your life, and how you spend your time is personal. So I give this in between a magic and memeable. Okay, so in the long span of time between this episode and the last episode, I've been thinking of magic, mystifying, and memeable as like a triangle. And that helps me a lot because sometimes you just get a song that's perfectly in between the two of those. So on that triangle, this one is magic and memeable, right smack dab in the middle. The next track is "Life Was Real." I think this is an interesting way to start the song because it seems to start with a chorus, which another one of the tracks does. This one feels like it's all chorus. So this song seems to be about like a strong relationship. It goes back a bit, and they've been through a lot. You hear partners in crime. You hear big kid now with a big kid power, which does remind me of diapers or I don't know, or like Toys R Us or something. It's not my favorite track. I'm sure I'm not alone that the line "arrest me sad face" is a little cringy. I mean, I'm no stranger to cringe, and I'm not truly afraid of it, but kind of as a whole, this song does its thing, but it's just not magic to me. I do like the point where it settles down a bit before it ends, and I do like the energy overall. I'm gonna give this one a magic, but like a soft magic. It's not crazy enough to be anything else. And I know I said it's on a triangle, so now I'm just completely upending that whole theory. We'll just have to accept it. So the next song is "Roxette Rick." And Roxette is a character they made up to be friends with Bunky Becky. And she has a pop metal dream, and she damn well made it happen. And they're going to doubt her, but clearly she's a badass. you wonder, okay, is she the vocalist, the guitarist? What is she playing? I think the bridge is so fun. I like that Roxette Rick is like one of those I don't care what other people think about me type people. And it's all very punk in terms of attitude, right? This one, like some other tracks, are very anthemic. And I think this one has fun. I'm gonna say fun so many times, I'm sorry. Like this album is the definition of fun. But I think with this song, they just really had some fun with arrangement. And there's a lot of weird little tinkering instruments and synth sounds. And I love the line, got a song in my heart, it's a bad one. That really speaks to me. And you know what? I think they should stop doubting Roxette. Yeah, at first this one was hard for me to buy into. I think if I wasn't looking at something as a full album, I would probably skip this one, but not skip out of like disgust or distaste. I actually am going to be talking about another album where there is a song I just can't even listen to. It's probably not as bad as the Kinks' Ducks on the Wall, but it's up there. So I give it a magic, yet nearly mystifying, because it's cool, but I still think it has kind of a weird tone. The next track is This Summer. And This Summer is weird, but in a silly way to me, because it does sound like it's a song written just for the TV show I Think You Should Leave, if anyone's familiar. It's like it's a graduation song, it's a song for angry youths. It's truly hard to define this track. This song, This Summer, has rolled around in my head so much. I want to make jokes about it, but I really love that chorus. And to be honest, the line, this summer might be our last, is probably maybe more likely about a band on tour, but and not actually about high schoolers. It's definitely taking something from the well-known graduation song, right? Pomp and Circumstance? Am I crazy? Or is it taking something from that Vitamin C song, and did that Vitamin C song take from that? Wait a minute, hold on. I'm going to go nuts. But am I crazy, or does No More Pleasure, No More Pain really feel like it's from a graduation song, right? Like Pomp and Circumstance, or what Vitamin C's graduation song came from, which is Paco Bell's Canon in D? Don't answer if you think I'm crazy. I think I have a point here. I just can't describe it. That's all. Anyway, the song has some sort of like classical influence. However, per the Genius source, it's actually influenced by the Cars, the Ramones, and the Shangri-Las. So I would like to give This Summer a memeable. Okay, the next song is Can I Scream? I love this song. It goes so hard. I think, in my humble opinion, it's an ode to getting through something and persevering despite being, quote, gutted like a buffalo, which, for anyone familiar with American history, will make you sad. I love how glitchy it is. And also the mention to, last level. There's definitely a video game influence here. Like comparing life to a boss fight, but it's hopeful. I love this one. And I know I've barely said anything about it, but it is pure magic. Next up, we have Badly. And I have to admit, man, this is another one of my favorites. I think I just needed like a pop metal album. I just did. So I love this song. I love the energy and the like very Shania Twain opening. This song literally starts with a chorus, and then it descends into like a hyperactive mess of punchy lyrics and just relentless instruments. I like the hip hop verses. They've got some funk to them. The arrangement for this is just a blast. Like, how can you not have a good time listening to it? I love the squeaky little sound too. 2 minutes in, like a little rubber duck. I think this song is kind of like an auditory I Spy. I wrote ear here. I think we can probably get a better name for that. Again, the message, we can be kicked around and we can keep going. I love that. I think the song just has incredible production quality. It's all of the layered effects and like little hidden vocals and lines. Like I love Vicious Delicious. I love Minneapolis. It's like it's a blast. And the line "Kiss my wings and go." There are wings on the cover. Do you get it? So I'm giving this one a magic and a memeable. So if you imagine the triangle, it's in the middle. Okay. Next song is called Blasted Shadow. And you know what? Damn, I like this one too. The narrator sounds maybe like she could use a psychiatrist, but life is hard. I love the lyric, "When I'm looking at the moon, I feel true." Is this like I feel like a real person when I look at the moon? Or there's another song that uses true and it's used in a different way, but I love that one. I think that line would make such a cool tattoo. I imagine this sweet little character like, I feel true when I look at the moon. I don't know. Maybe it sounds trite. I don't really give a shit. I think this is real pop punk lark. I may never know what Danger ZX is or why it's talking tough, but I'm going to give this one a magic. The next song is Real Special Cool Thing. This one's a love song. If you've listened to other episodes, you know how I usually feel about the slow love songs. But I kind of have a lot to say about this one because it seems like such a pure and young feeling love song. To tell someone who you love and who maybe you have all these big, complicated feelings for, to just encapsulate all those feelings with something as simple as "you're a cool one forever." You know, maybe because you can't find the words to say it and you've never done that before, or because you're kind of playing it off. You don't want to seem too devoted. But it seems genuine in the song. I just think that's so charming. The song in general, we've got some 80s influence, we've got some 90s rock influence, and this song might be the character imagining that they find or they're found by a special someone. You know, they'll say they love them because they're cool and they'll make them feel cool. It's really cute. When I was younger, of course, like most people, I used to dream about some imaginary future partner who I would find or who'd find me. It's just a relatable human experience. And I just really get swept up in those thoughts. So I can't say too much about the music itself. I will say, as sweet as it is, the track just doesn't stand out to me simply because it's just slower. It doesn't have some kind of hook to get me, but I'm still definitely going to give it a magic. Okay, I know I said that badly, or did I say wanna start a I know I think I said that wanna start a band maybe was my favorite on the album. Maybe High Someday is my favorite. That's the next track I want to talk about. I adore this song. And I don't know what it means. I think a lot of my favorite songs, I really don't know what's going on. And I can't seem to crack the code of Three High Coma Sun, but I love it. And I know that it's angsty and it's a me and you against the world song. I'm debt free. I don't owe them a thing. It's like, to me, it's the angst of the daily grind. We've got some crazy drums. Damn. And then we get taken through these like tunnels of emotion while the song really shifts moods. The line, "try all the time, not a negative creep." That's how it is sometimes, you know? I just love the repeats also of "every day is just like someday," because yes, it absolutely is. But it creates this tense mood in the song. The repeating of "every day is just like someday." And the line is repeated like the days seem to be for the character. It's a killer track. I love it. I've given it a pure magic. Ding! Just like a little sparkle on it visually. It's a podcast though, so imagine it. We've come already to the final track. Yes. This is a shorter podcast since I cut the movies, and I'm okay with it. The final track is called Pulse Drips Quiet. Here we have a song taking a more contemplative tone. So the lyrics create images of bombs falling on a teenager on their bike and people being untied from knots, presumably some kind of metaphorical hostage situation. And we have the assurance that from the speaker to their subject, they can hold their breath because they'll be true till death. They'll be loyal to them. You can count on that. So we have protectiveness, and also we have true being used in a different way, which I foreshadowed. And it's different from the moon line. You know, I love the moon line. But they're saying you're safe to hold your breath. You can count on that. You can count on me. That's how I read it. Because true here is more like, oh, I actually made a note here that the moon line in Blasted Shadow could be interpreted as when I look at the moon, I feel real and therefore like I exist, I have worth, I matter or something. Like at least that's how I read it, of course. I'm interpreting it as one does. But listen, Pulse Drips Quiet is another great dance aerobic song. If you take away nothing from this album, just take away the fact that if you want to engage in dance aerobics by yourself or with a group, slap the whole album on, start to finish, and you have, how long's the album? You have 32 minutes and 1 second of pure aerobics bliss here. You just have to make it your own. Do it. What was I saying? Yes. So I give Pulse Drips Quiet a magic. It's time to give out awards. The award for song most likely to get stuck in your head is This Summer. I know. But it's genuinely gotten in my head so many times that I can't get it out. And congratulations on your award. I am really struggling to think of a second award for some reason. I'm going to say song most likely to make you look at the moon and feel true, Blasted Shadow. And that's the awards. Everyone give a warm round of applause for our winners. Aw. So that's Bunky Becky Birthday Boy in its entirety. Now, what do I have to say overall? I think this album is like a Barbie commercial meets a Hot Wheels commercial. It's like the perfect blend. You know, when I first started listening, I thought, they're not for me. But then Alexis's voice was just welcoming me, and I immediately felt like I could find something to appreciate with and identify with. And as many times as I said genuine and fun, I maybe didn't say genuine so many times, but I certainly meant to, and I know I said fun a lot. These are qualities that I guess I've just needed lately, and that surprised me. And what is better than a new band surprising you? I just think that's part of why you seek out new art, you know? So overall, I love this album. I'm looking forward to checking out the rest of their library. Let's shift over to moods. The last few months have just kind of been a blur. I feel like I'm starting to pull myself together a bit. I've accepted some things about my life that I feel mean that I'm healing a bit more. And I'm going to be general. I think I've like reached a new sort of phase of healing that I really needed. And I think maybe I can just be a little bit more consistent this time, be a little bit more intentional. I don't know. I have my moments, like I have my doubts about myself and I have my low points, but as a whole, I'm really proud of myself and where I am at this point in life. And that feels good. If I had to give a name to this mood, accepting. Yeah, that's good enough. So that's how I'm feeling. How are you feeling? Tell me. I want to know what you're listening to. I want to know how you're feeling. And you know what? I'm still watching movies. I actually want to know what movie you're watching because I can't stop watching Conclave. I mean, Conclave is a PG movie for adults. That's kind of cool. You can just have it out of the background. No one's getting killed, except for spoiler alert. But I really liked Conclave. It feels like a very comforting movie if you've seen it a few times. That was my theory when I first saw it. I was like, this could be someone's comfort movie. Yeah, me. So please reach out. I'm on Instagram. I'm on all those other websites for the most part that they make you participate in when you create these days. If you have made it this far, I want to sincerely thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting me. If you liked it, send it to someone who you think will also like it. Or send it to someone, maybe you think will hate it as punishment for something that they did to you. Either way, it's a listen. Thank you so much. This is Noey with Moods with Noey. And let's talk soon. Bye. Hello, my little toast points.